Hey everyone, Ebert here, and as you can see from the title below, the legendary, the greatest critic of all time, Roger Ebert, has passed away. Um, kind of shocking, This is, one of my idols, you know, growing up. He's just one of the reasons, I love film so much because I didn't know someone could be so passionate the way he was about film. You know, it was shocking. It just shocked the hell out of me. It really did. I'm getting too ahead of myself. Okay, so back in the 70s, him and another critic named Gene Siskel created a review show called Siskel and Ebert, and I believe it was 1999. I believe Gene Siskel died, and just today, April 4th, 2013, Roger Ebert has passed away. And the reason why I say that in that order is because Siskel and Ebert had a way of just talking about film that gravitated so many people to watching their show. No one could see how cool it was to be a critic until they came on. Usually they would just read it in the newspaper or in a magazine or something like that. These two got so passionate about what they were watching, and it was almost astonishing how passionate they got, because they would kind of argue with each other and go so personal with it, with the movie, with themselves, with each other. They would go so personal with every film, and the fact that they did 5 films a week, and they would write about it, and then they would do the television show about it. And many may feel like, oh well, it's just talking about a movie. Talking about a movie and making it entertaining for 5 movies, 5, that's a very hard to do. It was something that no one ever thought they would see. Like, this duo got so popular and so into pop culture. I mean, they got teased on Godzilla, and they hated that movie, rightfully so, but I digress. But these guys just took being a critic to a whole new level and inspired so many people to find something, not just film. It wasn't just film with them. It was like, okay, we can be passionate about this. You can find something to be passionate as well and be a success in it like we were. Because they didn't know where the show was going to go. No one had ever really done this before until they did it. I'm sure they didn't know where it was going to go, but it didn't matter to them. They still were willing to take the chance because of their passion for film. They loved film. They loved it with a passion, and no one can compare to their passion of loving film. No one can compare it, because you could see it on TV. You didn't even have to talk to them. You could see it on TV that they loved film with full heart. You could see it and you could feel it. Even when you saw it in a newspaper or in an ad or in a magazine, anywhere you saw a Roger Ebert or Gene Siskel review, you knew that there was that passion. Whether it was written, whether it was spoken, doesn't matter. You could still feel it. And the fact that they're both gone now, it's kind of like something's missing, And when Gene Siskel died in 1999, no one thought, Roger Ebert would continue this. They felt, oh well, obviously he's done. He wasn't. He kept it going because of his passion for movies. And Gene Siskel would have wanted it that way. Gene Siskel wouldn't have wanted him to, I'm sure not. I mean, it's not my right to say it, but I'm sure Gene Siskel wouldn't have wanted Ebert to stop doing it, and I'm sure Ebert knew it. He kept it going. Not only for himself, but for Gene Siskel as well. And the fact that they just had so unbelievably, they had such a chemistry together. They were just peanut butter and jelly. In fact, I think they had better chemistry than peanut butter and jelly, in all honesty. You know, and the fact that, you know, they always stayed humble. They never said, "Oh well, we could do this better," or "We could write this better." You know, I may be 16, but at the same time, I saw previous shows and all this. And I'm not saying I know them and I know their shows, better than anyone else. But you could always tell that they stayed humble. That they knew they weren't in Hollywood. That they knew this is not an easy job. It's not cut out for them, but it's okay. You can still talk about it. You can still like it. You can still dislike it. Just because you're not in Hollywood, you can still have an opinion on it. You know, and the fact, the fact that they inspired so many other people. I mean, and staying humble at the same time, while knowing that they're inspiring other people to do their job. It's just, them staying humble at the same time. You know, it could have gone right to their head and said, "Oh well, this movie sucked. We could have done it better." They never did that. They never stepped across that line. They always said, they were, even if they didn't say it, they always knew, okay, this is our job. We're not going to step over our boundaries and show anyone disrespect. You know, we may hate the movie, but we're not going to disrespect the people by saying we can do their job better. You know, they never really crossed that line. They may have crossed that line with each other. They crossed a lot of lines with each other. They got very personal with one another. But at the same time, they never crossed that line with Hollywood because they knew where they belonged. You know, they knew their job and they knew how to be the best at it. They knew that they were inspiring so many people and, really changing how people saw critics. And when Gene Siskel died, everybody said, well, Ebert's done with the show and all this. But that passion for film that Roger Ebert had kept it going. Mr. Ebert always kept it going, no matter who it was with, Guest or Richard Roper. Mr. Ebert always, kept it going. I'm not going to say Roger kept it going because he deserves the respect to be called Mr. Ebert, So, Mr. Ebert always saw, the light at the end of the tunnel with film. Like, when the film was bad, he could hate it. He would hate it, and, just like Gene Siskel, they would, they would destroy that film. But when they saw a movie so great, like Beauty and the Beast, like, Fargo, like Citizens Kane, Citizens Kane, something like that, they got so happy with it. They just were so grateful about it. Like, my God, finally we have this great movie. I'm so happy about it. They always got so happy about it. You can feel that emotion. Every time, whether you disagreed with them or not, you could always feel when they were so happy, and that made you feel good. It's like, wow, I gotta check this out. Or, wow, there must be something here that I'm missing. If I don't like this film and they do, there's something I'm missing. Even if you disagree with them or not, you could always tell that they were telling their true opinion. They weren't reading a script. They were ad-libbing all the way through, and you could always tell that, And with Richard Roper and Roger Ebert, while the show wasn't as good, you could always tell the passion from Ebert. He always kept that passion and love for film, no matter what. No matter what happened, he always kept it going, even when he got sick, really sick, and to the point where he had to leave the show, and he couldn't talk, and he couldn't move. He always made sure that people heard his opinion because he never lost that passion for movies. He never did. And to see someone that had that such great passion, I love movies. Everybody knows I love movies with passion. Everybody knows I love movies with a passion, but not to the level that Roger Ebert or Gene Siskel did. Because they just, no one can compare to that. Every single time you see their review, you watched it or you read it because you knew it was going to be entertaining and you knew it would be passionate. It wasn't just a job for them. It was something more. It was just something, I don't know what it was. It was just something more to them that only they know, that only they truly know. We could say, well, it was, it was love for the business. It's just not that. There was just something more. Maybe it was that they knew that this movie would reach other people. that they knew people would go see this movie. And I guess maybe they wanted to have, people always see, like, it's okay to like the film. It's okay to dislike the film. You can like whatever you love. You can like whatever you like. You can not like whatever you don't like. This is just my opinion. He never said people shouldn't see this film or people should see this film. He never said that. He just said, I didn't like it. He never forced anyone not to see this movie. He never forced anyone to see the movie. It was up to them. And he knew that people didn't have to listen to him. People wanted to listen to him, including me. Truly. I mean, I wanted to hear what he was saying. And whether you disagree with him or not, everybody knows the name Roger Ebert. Everybody loves reading his reviews, and everybody will still continue to read his reviews, no matter where he is. It's hard to believe, Roger Ebert is gone. I mean, you never really thought you'd hear that, but it happened today, April 4th, 2013. It's just something that no one thought would happen, because Roger Ebert toughed through so much and survived so much, and I'm sure he went as long as he could, but hopefully he's in peace with what he's accomplished, what he's done, how many people he's inspired. He has the right to be. He's so humble. He was such a humble, great guy. Whether you met him or not, you could tell this man is a legend. And he really is. He is the greatest movie critic of all time. Hands down. Other people, may have their opinion. But for me, Roger Ebert will always be the absolute greatest critic of all time. Thank you, Roger Ebert, for the memories. We love you, and we will miss you. This is Ed Burton signing off.